when it comes to selecting a team, there's always a few members that feel afterwards that they should have been in the team and they did not make it and they've been unlucky or considered it due to politics. But the team that was selected for the 2019 games was, as far as I'm concerned, the 8 members that were on top of their game, that was ready for anything and that would represent this country with flying colors. And I'm going to shortly discuss every pick as I saw them during the last year. And I want to start off with the so-called PDI pick. Now I want to just make a statement. When it comes to selecting a team and they talk about PDI, I'm already furious, because if you select a soccer team for this country and it happens to be all 11 members are black, the whole country will support them if they selected on merit. And if they win or lose, the country will still remain behind them and support them to the end. But if you start selecting a team and you put a so-called PDI member in that's not selected on merit, you created havoc. That team does not get supported. And fortunate with us, that was not the case. With Yassine and Peter, they were 2 youngsters coming up in the last 2 years. I can recall on numerous occasions that they have spoken to us, obtaining information, better their skill. And when it came to the selection of the team, these 2 members were not selected for any other reason but for merit. Peter, you and Yassine, I salute you guys. I understand that you have made the decision 2 years prior to the team that you want to be in this team, and you want to be in it because you want to be selected as one of the 3 best picks in the country and not for any other reason. And therefore you guys excelled, and I'm very proud to be able to say that I was a member of the team that you people were involved with. If we then look at Christopher and Dean, now, like I previously said, me and Dean is together in this for more than 30 years. I can remember I met Dean when he was 18, 19 years of age. Very passionate guy about fishing, and when Dean commits, he commits. He's not leaving any stones unturned. He will do his utmost best to represent his country to the best of his ability. I can recall the last practice session we had. Dean was ill and his back gave him a lot of trouble, and then one afternoon after we finished our supper, when Dean left, the guys mentioned that they concerned about his health, and I said to him, gentlemen, one thing of this guy, he will die but he will give his best, and if he cannot do it, he will step away for the reserves to take his place, but we don't have to worry about him. If he says he's going to be there, he's going to be there wholeheartedly, and he's going to participate with only one thing in mind, and that's winning. And together with Dean and Christopher, Dean being the senior guy, there's a lot of knowledge and experience that comes along. And don't throw Christopher away. Although he's a youngster, he's a passionate guy, he's got a lot of knowledge, he's enthusiastic, and he was willing on the day, specifically during this practice session when his dad was ill, to give it his best shot. At 11, 12 o'clock at night, he was fighting all alone to compete with the other picks in the practice session, that they don't fall behind in the weight and the amount of fish. So Christopher also did extremely well. When it comes to our pick, I don't want to say much about myself, but when it comes to Geepie, he's probably not the most experienced guy, but probably the most skilled guy and the most talented guy I've ever fished with. It's a guy that can stand and think on his feet. Like I previously said, he's already a toppie, but he's a tough guy. He can stand next to you and he can fight. He's not giving an inch when it comes to getting that first position in the zone. Further discussion on the team was our reserves, Loki and Robert. Now I want to go a little bit into politics before I discuss Loki and Robert. But when the team was announced, Loki and Robert was announced to be the reserves, and then there was consideration that they might be fishing, and Peter and Yassine would be left out. And at that stage, the politics and the team became so harsh that the team actually burst apart. Similar to putting a hand grenade onto an edge of a cliff and it scatters in all directions. But I think that was crucial for the team, because it's very similar to an old army saying, you break a platoon down till there's nothing left and then you build them from nothing. And that's exactly what happened with this team. After that initial politics that it was involved, and we all were in a very low point, thinking that we need to represent this country, but we're not knowing even who's going to fish and why is this one in and why is that one out, and people pointing fingers at management and all of these that took place. But after that, Loki and Robert, when we decided that we are now going to be a team, we're going to give it our best shot, they bought into the principles and they accepted the responsibility of being the reserves. I can recall 2 weeks prior to the championships, I discussed one evening with Loki, and he said he's damn tired, and I asked him why. He says, you know, I prepare for this World Games as if I'm going to angle. If anything goes wrong with any one of you guys, I want to step in that camp and not drop this team. That's the spirit him and Robert showed during this, the preparations for the World Games. And then during the World Games, him and Robert worked their backsides off, supporting us to ensure that we're happy, that we're comfortable, that everything is okay on the peck. At the back, start motivating, clapping hands if you're catching a fish. This team was just one huge unit, probably one of the best sporting units I ever belonged to. And that was just because in the beginning stages there was huge politics. We burst apart, we got together at a very low point, and we stand together, and we started believing in each other and got to the point that we will be willing to die for each other. And I salute you guys for being such gentlemen and true and competitive anglers for South Africa.